Nnamdi Kanu wins. UN order immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. That is the headline flying around YouTube right now, and it's getting everyone talking. But before you start celebrating or arguing in the comments, let's look at what is actually happening on the ground this February 2026. If you want the real story behind the hype, you are in the right place. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel right now so you don't miss any of these major updates. To understand why this UN order keeps popping up, we have to look at the history. Yes, the United Nations Human Rights Council's Working Group on Arbitrary Detention did issue a very strong opinion in the past. They stated that the way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was brought back to Nigeria and kept in custody was not right according to international laws. They recommended that he should be released and even compensated. So when people see these headlines today, they are usually referring to that major diplomatic stance. But in the world of law and government, a recommendation from the UN is not the same thing as a direct command that a country must follow immediately. Now, let's talk about the real situation in 2026, because things have changed quite a bit. You may remember that in late 2025, a federal high court in Abuja delivered a very heavy judgment, sentencing Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment on terrorism-related charges. Since then, he hasn't been in DSS custody in Abuja. He was actually moved to a correctional facility in Sokoto State. Just a few weeks ago, his legal team tried to get him moved back closer to Abuja, but the court struck out that motion. So while the UN's opinion is a powerful tool for his lawyers, the Nigerian government is currently following the rulings of its own domestic courts. But wait, there is a very interesting twist to this story that might be the biggest win for the people in the Southeast. While the legal battles continue, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu recently sent out a very important message through his spokesperson. He has officially and permanently cancelled the Monday sit-at-home order. This is huge because for years, Mondays in the Southeast were completely shut down. Markets were closed, schools were empty, and businesses lost billions of naira. Kanu himself has now said there is no more reason for people to stay at home on Mondays. He wants everyone to go back to work and for life to return to normal. This move has created a lot of mixed feelings. On one hand, many people are relieved that they can finally open their shops and travel without fear. On the other, some supporters say they won't feel like they've truly won until Kanu is out of prison and back home. It's a very emotional situation for millions of Nigerians. Some people see the cancellation of the sit-at-home as a sign of peace, while others see it as a strategic move by Kanu to show he still has control and cares about the welfare of the people. So, when you see a headline saying Nnamdi Kanu wins, it's often a way to grab your attention. The truth is that the legal road is still very long. There are still many appeals going on, and 44 members of the House of Representatives recently wrote to the president asking for a political solution. They want the government to drop the charges and release him to help bring lasting peace to the country. This shows that even within the government, people are looking for a way to end this long-standing issue once and for all. What do you think about all of this? Do you believe a political solution is the best way forward for Nigeria, or should the law take its full course? And how do you feel about Mondays finally being open again in the Southeast? I really want to read your thoughts, so let's talk about it in the comments below. Please, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest and most balanced news stories from across the country. So, what happened on that first open Monday following the announcement? It was a historic day for the Southeast, but the atmosphere was a mixture of excitement and caution. In big commercial hubs like Onitsha, we saw thousands of traders finally returning to their stalls. This is a huge deal because markets like the Onitsha main market are the heartbeat of the region's economy. Governor Chukwuma Somido even visited the markets personally to buy goods, showing everyone that it is safe to come out. If you think this is a step in the right direction for the country, go ahead and hit that like button right now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It really helps us keep these stories coming to you. Even though many shops opened, it wasn't a total return to normal just yet. In some cities like Aba, some residents were still a bit hesitant. They've lived with the sit-at-home for nearly 5 years, so the fear doesn't just disappear overnight. Some schools and banks stayed closed on that first day as they waited to see if the peace would hold. It's like everyone was holding their breath, waiting to see if there would be any trouble. Fortunately, the reports coming in show that things remained mostly peaceful, and that is exactly what everyone has been praying for. The economic side of this story is staggering. Experts say that the Southeast has lost trillions of naira over the last few years because of these Monday shutdowns. Small business owners who depend on their daily sales to feed their families were hit the hardest. Now that the directive has been permanently cancelled by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself, there is a fresh wave of hope. People are talking about a trade boom returning to the region. Imagine the relief for a mother who can now send her children to school on a Monday morning without worrying about their safety. However, there is still a bit of a tug-of-war going on between the government and some traders. Some governors have threatened to seal up shops that refuse to open on Mondays, while IPOB leadership has asked the government to be patient and not use force. They argue that after so many years of fear, people need a little time to feel truly safe again. It's a delicate balance, but the general feeling is that the era of sit at home is finally behind us. This is a major victory for the common man who just wants to go to work and live a peaceful life. As we watch how this unfolds, the big question remains, will this newfound peace in the Southeast help speed up the legal process for Nnamdi Kanu in Abuja? Some believe showing the region is peaceful and stable might encourage the government to consider a political solution or even a pardon. It's a developing story that could change the future of Nigeria as we know it. We are keeping our eyes on every update for you. Don't forget to subscribe so you're the first to know when more news drops.